Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam. Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarajanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram. What was the question yesterday asked by Karshni was, is there any other path other than self-enquiry for attainment of the truth? That's the question. So, Bhagavan, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, in 22nd verse, Bhagavan says, Eka praptum prayatate parapraptara mruchati Chiraya prathamo gachan prapnotyatmanamantataha. Now, this we have stopped yesterday. The commentator so beautifully writes here, Jnanadeva mokshaha, first one. We saw yesterday. Because Upanishads, Vedanta says, through jnanam alone, moksha is possible. So what is the meaning of jnanam which we saw yesterday? It is not the knowledge about, but knowledge of. Knowledge about Atman is we are gaining through listening, studies, etc. Knowledge of Atman is only by experience. Yesterday we gave example that knowledge about Rasagulla will help us in identifying Rasagulla in a sweet shop. So in the indications are given, picture is given, and then color, size, shape, and how it looks, etc., etc. What is the appropriate cost or maybe probable cost of it? Is range mein hota hai. So I will do neti neti. Nayiti means, oh, this is like a diamond shaped Mysore Pak, I don't want. This is like a little blackish color gulab kala jamun, I don't want. This is brown gulab jamun, I don't want. This is red jalebi, I don't want. See, this is a pure white, but it is like a cake. This is not rasagulla, I don't want. So I am eliminating. So in identifying the rasagulla, knowledge about rasagulla helps us. So in identifying what is not Atman and what is Atman, what could be Atman. So naiti, neti, neti, I select and delete everything. This is not me, this is not me, this is body cannot be me, the prana cannot be me, the mind cannot be me, buddhi cannot be me, vasanas or causal body cannot be me, this cannot be me, and then with the help of Shastra. Then what is balance is Atman. Then what is it? So I have to taste it. Identifying the Rasagulla, after eliminating all the sweets, after I identify this is Rasagulla, then I got the knowledge about Rasagulla now. I could identify Rasagulla, but knowledge of Rasagulla means only after tasting it. That is called Jnanam. So similarly, moksha you will get not because of studying scriptures, not because of, that may help you, but it won't. So is chakkar mein mat padna hai. Like, suppose somebody is inspired, okay, in this shop, I was successful in identifying Rasagulla, when the sweets are arranged in this manner in this shop, I could identify. Now let me go to other shop and identify Rasagulla. Because their arrangement may be different in the showcase. So I'll go there, oh, this arrangement is a different arrangement. Now let me identify Rasagulla, where it is kept. Neti, I practice. Then I go to third shop. Neti, I practice. Naiti. This is not. Then how many shops you go to identify Rasagulla? So you keep on doing it, thinking that you are gaining more knowledge about Rasagulla. In this shop, I had to identify Rasagulla, right Almera, and right side, fourth row or whatever it is available there. In another shop, it is available, that arrangement is kept. That means called Drushtikona, that is, analysis is different. In some shops, you find some sweets which are not available in other shops. But that is also not Rasagulla, but other sweets are available which are not in the first shop. इस चक्कर में क्यों पढ़ते हैं? शास्त्र पढ़ते पागल हो जाओगे। पागल हो जाओगे या पागल हो चुका है भगवान जाने, कोई बात नहीं, हो चुके होंगे हम सब, पता नहीं, तो कर करके भगवान ज्ञानादेव तो मोक्ष मीन्स कैवल्यम मीन्स ओनली बाय एक्सपीरियंस, दैट इज द ट्रूथ। तस्य च ज्ञानस्य आत्मविचारः साक्षात् साधनमिति बहुधा उपन्यस्तम्। Now, in that, Bhagavan Ramana says, self-inquiry is a direct path to realize the self. This was mentioned many times in the past lessons of this Ramana Geeta. Iha anyat sadhanam asti va nama iti prishtaha. In this case of realization, is there any other path other than self-inquiry, or doesn't exist, or how many paths exist, if at all they exist? That's the question. So Bhagavan Maharshihi dhyanasyapi sadhanatam abhipagamya. Okay, Bhagavan concedes, accepts. In order to know the self, meditation also is one of the available paths other than self-inquiry. But dhyana margasya vichara margasya bheda nirupanena. But he wanted to show the difference between jnana margam. Jnana margam means what? Here, Atma Vichara, who am I? The path of self-inquiry and Dhyana Margam, the meditation, path of meditation, and Vichara Margasya, path of self-inquiry. In दोनों के बीच में क्या फर्क है, क्या भेद है? Meditation is different from self-inquiry. What is the difference? Bheda nirupanena. Now he will show the difference by proving, by showing us the difference. आत्मस्वरूपान्वेषणादिरूपा विचारात् अन्यत्र साक्षात् साधनं नास्ति एव इति अब्रुवाणः प्रतिवचनम् अनुगृह्णाति. Without directly telling that there is no other path to self-realization other than self-inquiry. But he doesn't want to say directly. He doesn't want to say that. He won't encourage those who are meditators. So, without saying directly, he agrees, meditation also is a path. But without saying directly that self-inquiry alone leads you to the realization, without directly saying, he answered. How did he answer? Bhagavan, Ekah praptum prayatate. This is how he said. Ekah sloka, Ekah praptum dhyata purushaha atmanabhaya prayatamanaha vartate. Prayatamano vartate. See, one who is meditating, the meditator, listen very carefully. Meditating on object of meditation. That means what? The meditator remains striving for recognizing the self, for realizing the self, for the gain of the self. Atmalabhaya. आत्म प्राप्ति के लिए जो ध्यान करता है, ध्याता है, ध्यान करने वाला, वो ध्याता ही रहेगा. Prayatamano pravartate, keeps on striving. Who? The meditator. He will not give you, it will not give you realization. You keep meditating. So, Atmana prayatamano vartate. Paraha praptara mruchati atma vichari. Paraha means other than meditator. Other one who is doing self-enquiry. Atma vichari purushaha prayatamanaha atmana praptaha ka iti pashyati. Now, one who is atma vichara, one who is doing self-enquiry, he questions, who is that self which is recognizing, who is the one who is realizing the Atman? Who is, ego cannot realize Atman, then who is Atman is already realized. So when you say, did you realize the self? Oh no. Did you means what? If the you is equal to ego can never realize Atman. If you is equal to Atman, pure Atman, it need not be realized. It is already there. Who is the one who is gaining this knowledge? Think. You realize the self. Did you realize the self or you realize the self? Okay. You means what? Ego realizes the self. Ego cannot realize the self. Self realizes the self? No. It is already realized. Think. So Atma Vichara, in that, who is this Atman? Who wants to know? Who am I? Real I. Who is the one who wants to know? I told you right now. If Jiva is ego. How can ego realize the self?
Can recognize.
How? Ego cannot realize. How can ego transcend and know the self? What is the problem now? If ego can realize the self, you already realized. So this inquiry is very interesting. The direct path it is. That's a question. So in the self-inquiry, interesting. Who is this I? Transient I or Shuddhaham? Shuddhaham is already realized. This ego can never realize the Atman. Ego can only know the differences. Ego divides. Maya urmo ruto rutai maya. Me and mine, you and yours is Maya. That is ego. So please don't jump the gun. So, Atma Vichara, this will come now. So therefore, Atmana Prapta ka iti vashyati. Now, who is this self? Who is this one wants to know the Atman? Who is this? Who is samsari jivaha? Something is happening inside. Therefore, Paraprapta Atra Prathame Marge, in the first marga of meditating. We are meditating on an object of meditation. Atra Prathame Marge Prapta, if you consider first marga, Praptavyam iti Dvaitatmikaya Manasya Vritya Dhyane Prayatna Kriyate. There is, in meditation, there is a duality. What is duality? Object of meditation and the meditator. So I keep on meditating. On what? On object of meditation. There the duality is clearly seen. You will also attain, but a long route. That's what he will tell. It's a very long route. इट इज नॉट अ डायरेक्ट पाथ. तो नाक कहाँ है, मैंने हाथ घुमा के दिखाया किसी ने ऐसा, so दिखा सकते हैं ना, दिस इज डायरेक्ट पाथ. नाक दिखाओ, मेरा हाथ नहीं पहुंच रहा है, ऐसा करके. You heard this example or not? हमारा आंध्र में प्रयोग करते हैं इसका. नाक दिखाओ बोलते घुलटा फिर पूरा ऐसा घुमा घुमा के हाथ पूरा, फिर कंप्लेंट भी करते हैं मेरा हाथ नहीं पहुंचता है. अगले जन्म में हाथ बढ़ा देंगे, भगवान मेरा हाथ अगले जन्म में बढ़ा दो ताकि नाक पकड़ सकता हूं. Straight available. This is direct path. Well, show your finger, keep it on nose. Directly you can keep it. No, घुमा के. That is called meditator path. Who is a meditator? First of all, on who is meditating? On whom he is meditating? So therefore, in this case of Dvaitam, athap atra prathame marge prapta praptavyamiti dvaitatmikaya manasya vrittya dhyane prayatnaha kriyate. He puts his efforts in meditation to reach the object of meditation, thereby establishing Dvaita. Duality. Vicharetu. Vichara Marga, we have already seen what is self-inquiry in the previous chapters. Inquiry begins with ego. Who am I? Who is the questioner? Is ego only. Ego begins a self-inquiry. But that takes him to, that we saw earlier, Hrudayam, Vachyartham is Manaha, Lakshyartham is Ishvara, Hrudayam, Ahamvritti. Ahamvritti Vachyartha is Manasa, mind. Lakshyartham is Hrudayam. We saw it long back. Implied meaning is Hrudayam, direct meaning is mind, Ahamvritti. So Aham Vritti, which is support of all vrittis. So when you say Aham, because when I say I, it won't stop there. Try. So Aham Vritti is always attached to Idam Vritti. You cannot simply say I and stop there. No. I am confused, confounded, dejected, happy, unhappy. Without this, try to maintain only I. No, not possible. I am black, I am tall, I am short, I am fat, I am thin. How subtle it is. I is always attached with Idamurti. Stop there, I. I what? I is I. No, it cannot be. Because this I, ego, carrying in its womb all the memories of the millions of lives. Some are accessible, some are inaccessible. But it carries. So this Aham Vritti, you cannot separate from Idam Vritti, actually speaking. If you can do it. Think. You cannot. So therefore, Idam Vritti are, I am frustrated. This frustrated, hatado. Who is this I? I am happy. Happy, hatado. Who is this I? So, I am something. I followed by something is rejected. Focus is only on who am I. But that is ego only questioning. But that question, so Idam Vritti, I means what? Idam Vritti. Idam Vritti means Vachyartham. Direct meaning is what? Mind. Sada meaning hai. Aham means mind, your own mind, because I is a bundle of past. It represents your personality. How frustrated you are, how happy you are. how idiotic we are, how bound we are. The moment you say I, it carries all your personality flavor. I qualify the I. The moment you say I, it is qualified. By what? By your past, present, and future anxieties, present excitements, past memories, your hopes, your ambitions, your desires, your unfulfillment things, or fulfilled state, a happy, unhappy state. All that is qualified when you say simply I. कितना जंक लग गया देखो. इस जंग को हटा के आई आई कहकर देखो, हो संभव ही नहीं है. So this I is there. So therefore, I ka direct meaning is mind only. What is mind? Idam vritti. Thoughts only mind. Then, but what is this I lakshyartha, implied meaning of this I? I, when you say I, implied meaning is hrudayam. I am hrit, Ishwaraha. That we saw. So lakshyartha we don't know. So enquiry begins with ego only. But in that enquiry, I am not allowing all those qualified things to get attached to this I. I am a man, wrong. I is correct. Man, woman, old, young, these are all qualifying the I. Patches. Lycoderma. You know lycoderma? White patches. उसको हटा के आई कहे के देखो, नहीं होता. That is inquiry. It's not easy. Because when I'm saying who am I, in that I already considering myself as A, B, C, D. That's what it says. Atra prathame marge praptavyam te dvaitatmikaya manasya vrittya dhyane prayatna kriyate. Vichare to dhyatru dhyayatmika vrittireva nivartate. In vichara marga, this, because all those patches which is attached to this I is rejected. In vichara self-inquiry, there is no duality. There is nothing to meditate upon. The inquiry is falling itself on itself. There is no duality there. In meditation, there is a duality. I am meditating on mantra, meditating on the form, meditating on the qualities. But they are not me. They are other than me. Their Dvaita is established there. So, in na pravartate, this dichotomy doesn't exist. The division doesn't exist. The duality doesn't exist. Where? In meditation. In inquiry, sorry. In self-inquiry, the duality doesn't exist. Because I am not interested what is that with which the I is qualified. In our present, when I say I, followed by what? That is followed by so much kachara, which is not true. I am the man, I am the male, I am young, I am old. Whatever you attach to it, it is not true. The padding. First of all, the padding has to go. Keeping that padding in view intact as it is, I wanted to meditate on somebody else which is other than me with the padding. Too subtle. ये सुनने से नहीं होता है. हाँ सुनो, but we have to exclusively practice. Become extremely sensitive. दैट्स वाई वी कंटेम्पलेटिव लैंग्वेज है. फिर मेरा आवाज़ कम हो जाता है तो फिर आप बोलेंगे. When long back, when I used to take one class in one house on Vivek Chudamani, automatically my eyes used to get closed in the class. ऐसा बोलता था. So they complained to Guruji. ये आंख बंद करके बात करता है, खुलता भी नहीं. तो गुरु जी कुछ नहीं कहा, सुन लिया है. अच्छा ठीक. दे ओनली टोल्ड मी कंप्लेंट टू गुरु जी. बोले किस बात के कंप्लेंट है? आंख बंद करके आप बात करते हो. अच्छी बात है ना, यू कैन स्लीप. देयर इज नो मॉनिटर फॉर यू. हाउ लकी यू आर. ऑटोमेटिकली इफ यू आर such a teaching is not, I am not teaching anybody, I am teaching myself. So automatically mind goes inside. It pulls. So the subtlety, that eye without padding. Then therefore in that self-inquiry, the padding is first dropped. This is, who am I? All that which I have been thinking to be me is not true. So all gets dropped. And then still inquiry continued. Who am I? In that inquiry, the ego just disappears and merges in true self. So this is the direct path of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. That's what he says. Vichareto dhyatrudhyayatmika vrittareva nivartate. The vritti itself is withdrawn. Nivartate means it's just doesn't exist. The meditator meditating, the difference goes away. Na pravartate. So sarva prayatna kruto aham vrittehe evam moola swarupanveshana nimajjana dvara. Sarva prayatna krutaha aham vritti. Who is doing sarva effort? Aham vritti. Who is putting this effort in order to know who am I? Effort is there. Prayatnam. But that prayatnam is not to gain something which is other than me. In meditation, there is a clear-cut duality. Here there is no duality. But effort is there. What is that effort? To know. So, aham sarva prayatna krito aham vrittehe evam. This sarva, the one who is putting best effort, the aham vritti, in doing this atma vichara of who am I? Who am I means what? Without any qualifications. That is why Vedanta, Panchakoshon ke tyag do, pehle, ye tyag do, o tyag do, isko. Ultimately, yenat tyajasi tat tyaja. That's the final step. That by which you gave up everything, you all drop that also. So this ego, putting best efforts, where it is like self-immolation. I am not burning anything, I am burning myself. Inquiry. Who am I? So sarva prayatna krito aham vrittehe evam moola swarupa anveshana nimajjana dvara. He is very completely absorbed in the search of this source or origin of this I. When can I do this meditation? Only when I remove all the external paddings. Then I can enter into it. Suppose there is in Arunachalam, in Giri Pradakshana, if you do circumambulation, there is some place where it's called Moksha Dwaram. Moksha Dwaram means it's like a small stone gate type, You have that also is not straight. It is just like bent, and you have to come out. And itna slow hai, itna very. They say if you can come out, and fat people also cannot, and you cannot go like this. You have to. ऐसा सो के धीरे कई लोग अटक भी गए अंदर फिर 4-5 लोग गांव वाले आके फिर खींचते हैं फिर दबा देते हैं बहुत यू जस्ट कहीं अटक गए हिल नहीं पाते अंदर से दैट मीन्स व्हाट तनु करोति मीनिंग वेरी स्मॉल इफ यू बिकम very easy you can really go through it the fat ego is there it cannot go fat ego cannot go in completing self inquiry तो मोटा है तो कहाँ जाएगा that is why ego padding has to be reduced because the moment you say who am I तुरंत adding I am man I am female I am male I am this I am rich I am poor the moment you ask who am I pada 1,000 answers will come हाँ सोचने की क्या बात है मैं पागल तो हूं मैं पागल हूं that is first this is to be dropped then when after this completely dropped then the still question is who am I continued it's not a verbal repetition it's a search it's not a japa who am I namaha who am I namaha who nothing verbal it is silent search then what happens this I will merge in its source. Because you are inquiring that I, after removing all the padding and only ego is there. When you say who am I, then at that time if you ask who am I, no answer can come. Why? Earlier you identified with so many things the answer used to come. Now you know these are all wrong answers. I am a seeker, I am a devotee, I am a member, I am a this one trustee, I am Swami, I am that, these are all nonsense only. When all these things are removed, still inquiry is going on. So no answer can come. Earlier mind used to answer immediately. Who am I? I am a searcher of money. I am the one waiting for lottery. I am a seeker of truth. Who is a seeker of truth? Usually I am meditating. So many nonsense will come. Clamor of noises will rise in the cesspool of thoughts. In the mind. By ego. It just... This is only Puja Gurudev used to struggle to explain by saying that what is life? Oh, Swamiji, life is beautiful. I am not asking what is beautiful or ugly. What is life? Oh, I am working. I am not asking where you are working. What is life? I am rich. I am not asking whether rich or poor. What is life? Life is beautiful. I am not asking how it is, but what is life? Whatever you answered is the expression of life. That is not I am asking, but what is life? Then you become silent. So then aham vritti merges in swatma swarupe nivrittir bhavati. It just simply dissolves in the true self. Why it can dissolve? Because it is now freed from all kinds of dirt which are not allowed in the higher states of consciousness. Keeping all the qualities qualified by this, your eye is qualified by so many things. With those things, you want to know the truth? Impossible. So I very strong. I think like that. I don't accept. I always like that. I always did like that. What about me? I didn't know. I never. I brought my children up very nicely. They are very. Gurudev, ayyo. In South Indian, no? Ayyo. Ayyo. My thought is like that. I read this and I read that and I contemplated, I understood, I studied. I is adding millions of lives. Itna mota bana diya, it is difficult to dissolve. So, and this, some kind of mysterious heat will generate in that self-inquiry. And first of all this is burnt, dropped, peeled off. That's why I said, can your eye exist without a padding? It cannot. Therefore, my dear, so Moola Swarupanveshana Nimajjana Dvara Swatma Swarupe Nivrittir Bhavati. This is the inquiry. Now, Praptaram Ruchyati iti atra prapta ahankaraha tam ruchyati prapnoti kaha atma eva. So this ego attains. Meaning what? Ego dissolves. What is ultimately remaining? Self. So self recognizes, because ego, so far the self is behind the ego, and this ego is not allowing the self to shine, like a cloud not allowing the sun to shine. Sun is shining, but the presence of the cloud is covering its shining. But I am the sun. So it's like, when I'm tied by my leg, when somebody tied my legs and hands, I cannot express physically the energy, that freedom. I can't express. I'm very bound. So it's like wearing a glasses. So because of this, I'm covered by ego, like a cloud. It cannot cover, but then that moment, yes, identification. So therefore, this ego is dropped, and ultimately, Spurati Hrutsvayam. Suddenly I awaken. This ego, when dissolved completely, then true I emerges. That is not ego, it's a true I. It's a real I, the source of ego. Ego is no more. So, praptischa atmanaha ahankara grasa rupa. So what is meant by Atma Prapti? Atma Prapti means that real self, true self, swallows the ego. Ahankara grasa rupa. Grasati. Swallows. The ego is swallowed. In order to swallow, if ego is having so many padding and thoughts and kachada along with it, it's not no entry. All that is dropped. And what is left is only I thought. That also is inquiring, who am I? That intensity of that self-inquiry, one day at one time, that's it, sometime. Suddenly this ego is swallowed by higher self. Throughout the journey, you don't know. You are in dark journey. Suddenly, at some point, you turn left or whatever path takes you right or left. As soon as you turn right, suddenly you see a beautiful temple or a beautiful murti or a sudden light there, and then sudden at one chalak. Hi. But journey is unknown. We are in darkness. You can't measure. Therefore, only Guru knows how close you are to realization and how far you are. So keep on inquiring. So ahankara grasarupa. So ahankritim yo lasati grasitva kinchit vijanati sa na atmanaha anyat. Atmanaha anyat na kinchit vijanati. When the ego is swallowed by ahankritim yo lasati. This ahankara vritti, aham vritti, that which swallows this aham vritti. Why it is swallowing? Because there is nothing. All that padding is removed. So do not qualify. All your qualifications, psychological and the secular level, whatever your qualifications are all mithya. They are not true. Whatever we consider ourselves to be other than Brahman is all lies, not true. That's it. That is not true. So therefore, iti Upadeshaho Bhagavan Maharshehe. This is the Bhagavan Maharshi Upadesha. So self-inquiry is a direct path. What about meditator? Chiraya Prathamo Gachan. Karte raho. Chiraya for a long time. Meditate. Prapnoti Atmanam Antataha. Somewhere in the end, down the line, the meditator realizes the truth. Somewhere. Because he is established in duality. Some Daivanugraham will come, some Anugraha. Then he will stop all that meditations. Then he really starts living. Then you understand there is nothing to meditate upon. The meditator is me, the object of meditation is me, meditation is me. Dhyanam is me, dhyata, meditator is me, meditation, dhyanam is me, dhyeya, the object of meditation is me. Which I didn't know all through this. Thinking that it is separate from me, I have been meditating. Now I know. Instant realization. This is me? Wow! Awakening comes. A great master speaks about it as a blast of consciousness. A blast. That's why a true seeker is not worried about all these things. Miracles, this and that. Anthakarana dharmas. Anthakaranam only. It takes different shapes and sizes and pata nahi. Okay. Yadyapi dhyanasya sakshat sadhanatana uchyate. Now, Bhagavan, you have disappointed all meditators. हम सालों से ध्यान करते आ रहे हैं, रोज ध्यान करते, जप करते, यू सेड ध्यान मार्ग में भी बहुत समय लगता है. Like Parasuram ji, Dattatreya Upasana he was doing. 12 years he did. Devi Upasana, sir. Dattatreya Upadesha gave. Devi Upasana, Tripura Devi. 12 साल करने के बाद ये मैं कब तक करूँ, ये सब बकवास है. When will I know the truth? Then he stopped. जो रहस्य बताओ, ये कब तक मैं करता रहूंगा. या नाउ यू आर रीच्ड. पता चला, अभी पता चला. सेम थिंग रामकृष्ण परमहंस. हाउ मच, हाउ लॉन्ग, काली काली काली, अदर देन मी. You know, there is a fear. If I say the God is other than me, there is a fear. Fear of, is he blessing me or not? Is he with me or not? वो मेरा सुनता है कि नहीं सुनता है? Sentimental, semi-mental, then mental. 3 states. First sentimental, then semi-mental, then पूर्ण रूप से mental. Then many people have turned into atheists also. छत इतने साल से करते आया हूँ, भगवान कुछ नहीं किया. मेरे
तो कह रही थी करो तो है, मेरे से करवा लो. ऑफ करो, कर दिया. कोई और भी कर सकता है. तो चीजें समझ नहीं आती. अब तो सॉरी सर, तुम्हारा अपने तो बंद किया था. सेटिंग में जाते हैं.
आपने बंद नहीं किया, वो खुद बंद हो गया. ओए ले लो.
सेटिंग में जाते नंबर दे दो. तो खुलेगा तब कैसे?
खोल के पासवर्ड डालना
नहीं डालने, बंद कर दो. स्विच ऑफ कर दो. उसके लिए भी डालना. मैंने किया था, फॉरवर्ड कर दिया था.
Thought gone. Dattatreya Bhagwan. How long you do that? Ramkrishna Paramahamsa, how long? So, परमात्मा मुझसे अलग है. Painful process. Fear, insecurity. It will never end. Somebody will kick us. Enough, अंदर जाओ, पता करो. But meditators, you are disappointing Mahatma Ji, Ramana Maharshi. Yadyapi dhyanasya sakshat sadhanataya. So dhyanam is not, although meditation is said to be not a direct path of realization, but where is its place? Tathapi. Although it is not a direct path to realization, even though चित्त एकाग्र संपत्ति द्वारा ज्ञान साधनत्वं भवति इति आहा. So that only will help you in purification of the mind. Chittasya ekagriya, concentration you will get. Concentration, meaning undisturbed focus. Undisturbed focus. Meaning, you make a sankalpa. Mind, be with me in this work for next 2 hours. A great yogi, he is no more. महात्मा है, he is a great yogi. You know what happened once with him? He was working in somewhere big. So he kept office cash in those days, 80s, 81, 85 maybe, I don't know. 84, 85. About 50,000 rupees. Sarkari cash. He was handling the cash, not a cashier, he's a big official. And suit briefcase खोल के बेडरूम में 50,000 है बैग में. He kept 50,000 is there. He opened that suitcase. कुछ कर रहे थे काम, इसमें कुछ ना सडन फोन कॉल आ गया. He was in some other important department. So he had to immediately come out, sat in the car, ambassador car of those times, and went to other city. En route, he suddenly remembered. I left the suitcase open in the bedroom, on the bed. Workers are there, so many people are there. So, Mahayogi the, he said, first of all, let it not be visible to anybody. First thought he made. And it is bothering him. I forgot. We're not able to focus. He said, let me consciously forget. Oh God. It's a contradiction. He said, I will drop this memory consciously. I will forget. So after 20, 30 kilometers of travel, he said, I will forget this thought, drop this thought here. And he dropped it and he forgot about it. As nothing. He went to the city, came back and working. And exactly the point where he dropped the thought on the road, a point where when he was journeying, at that moment the thought entered again. Oh, Mahayogi the. And he found out the suitcase as it is. For 24, 36 hours, so many people coming into the room. In the house, going, people, workers, ye, wo. ऐसे को ऐसे पढ़ा. So he taught us, he told us, there are some techniques in yoga where you can consciously drop it. It looks contradictory, but no, he said. In our case, the more we try to forget, trying to forget itself is a memory, refreshing the memory. Yogi, tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. Master. So, therefore, dhyana marga is not a direct path. Indirectly it is useful. It will give you concentration. Concentration to drop also. Focus. He said, I will drop this, I will focus on my work. Concentration. हमारा क्या ना ये डिस्टर्ब होता है, वो डिस्टर्ब होता है, वो याद आता है, ये याद आता है. Because we are very cheap people we are actually. We are not using that practice of yoga. Therefore, Bhagavan says, dhyana means give you concentration. And eventually you will come back to self-inquiry only. Ekasya dhyanataschittam ekakruti bhavishyati ekakrutitvam chittasya स्वरूपे स्थितये भवेत्. एकस्य ध्यातुः ध्यानतः साधनात् चित्तम एकाकृति एकरूपम एकाग्रम भविष्यति. For somebody, those who are practicing meditation slowly and steadily, because of this practice, chittam ekakriti ekarupam, meaning ekagram bhavishyati. Then becomes only ekagra, stream of thoughts are produced. तुल्य प्रत्यय संतति अतत् प्रत्यय असंकीर्णा शास्त्र विषय आलंबना च उपासना या ध्यानम नामतु. Continuity of similar thoughts, not intercepted by any other dissimilar thoughts, and they're all flowing towards an object of meditation is called dhyanam. It happens. Then chittasya ekakrutitvam swarupa sthitaye swatmanishtaye bhavet. Slowly, eventually, concentration, slowly, the mind gets established and dissolves in one's own self. It is an indirect path. Okay? Ekam parampara sambandhe. Evam parampara sambandhena dhyanasya mantra japadehe iva. You do mantra, japa, parampara. All will give you chitta shuddhi. Dhyanam also will give you chitta shuddhi. Chitta shuddhi ke dwara dhire dhire you will reach the self. So they are all indirect paths. Chitta shuddhyartham, chitta shuddhyartha karma acharanasya. Karma acharana. चित्त शुद्धि के लिए कर्म करो, चित्त शुद्धि के लिए जप करो, चित्त शुद्धि के लिए मंत्र पाठन करो, चित्त शुद्धि के लिए उपासना करो, चित्त शुद्धि के लिए ध्यान करो. वो सब they will give you only चित्त शुद्धि. Know the truth. Ultimately, the chitta shuddhi will give you jnana sadhanatvam uktam. So, they are all means to attain that jnanam, to reach a state of self-inquiry. To practice that self-inquiry is a very sublime, superior state. Some very great people are able to focus on that. We are swept across by the currents of samsara. पतला सा पेपर रखो, पतला सा कागज, एंड हेवी विंड्स कम, होता है कि नहीं? दैट इज आवर माइंड. ओके. अथ आत्म प्राप्तिम अनिच्छतः अपि एकाग्र साधनतः सा सिद्ध्यति इत्याह. नाउ somebody is not desiring a particular state of self-realization, but simply practicing ekagrata, eventually it will lead him to self. Even if you don't want. There are many instances in the world. They have mastered the art of focus. For example, Bruce Lee. You read some Bruce Lee's videos, you watch. The way he speaks, my God. I show some video clipping to people sometimes. He says, it is naturally unnatural, unnaturally natural. In a way, I would say it is doing, undoing, doing. He replies to the interviewer. He says, you lost me. No, I am not, he says. You know what he was speaking? He never remembered karmani, akarmaya, pashyata, akarmana. He was talking about the real. In a way, I teach them, it's not pure naturalness, it is not pure unnaturalness, it is a combination of these two, he says. In a way, I teach them how to express themselves through an art of defending themselves. And he says, hi, below. No, I am not. So there, high concentration if you achieve, automatically the truth is revealed. You think you are extroverted. No need. No need. Once the mind reaches that state, sudden click comes. Because it cannot be. When mind becomes silent and extreme focus reach, very few thoughts are very extremely focused, automatically the sun which is there just shines forth. You don't want realization, but it will happen. But in all our concentrations, we have motive. Concentrate on studies so that you get good job. Oh, very good. Excellent. भगवान की जरा देखो, मंदिर में कंसंट्रेशन करो, कंसंट्रेशन करके प्रार्थना करो, तुम्हारी सारी इच्छाएं पूरी हो जाएगी. भाई, मोटिव. It is not to concentrate for the work's sake. It's not that I'm doing this work. It is not for recognition, not for marks, not for anything, not for ego satisfaction. It's my birthright to express the perfection. There is no motive. What is the motive in the bud, in blossoming? Ask the flower bud. Why do you blossom? How many people? The flower, at least today 10 people should come and smell me. 22 people should come and take picture of me. No motive. Just blossoms. Oh, tasty food I prepare for children. No, food should be tasty. For children or no children, there is no motive attached to it. For us, everything motive is stapled. सत्संग सुनने से मन में शांति मिलती है, स्ट्रेस दूर हो जाता है. मोटिव. हाँ, घर में बैठ के तंग हो जाते हैं, इसलिए सत्संग में जाते हैं. मोटिव. समझिए बोर हो रहा है, कब क्लास लोगे? मोटिव. So simple concept is enough. It will know the truth. So anicchata anichaya api dhyanena atmanam vindeyam iti ichcha abhave api. Even though there is no desire, I must know self, but he says I will concentration achieved. Dhyayan purushaha atmanisitam vindati. Vicharakaha swatma vichara pravruttaha पुरुषस्तु तु शब्दः ध्यातृपुरुषः व्यावृत्त्यर्थः विज्ञाय स्वरूपं विदित्वा आत्मनः संस्थितो. What about vicharam? Vicharakasthu vignaya. Vichara knows consciously, yes, I am attaining this. Consciously he tries and he attains the truth. Atmanah samsthitah. But other person anichanna happy. They are not interested. He doesn't know what is Atmanah Brahman, but he discovers. Suddenly certain things are unfolded. A pure mind. What is pure mind? Uncontaminated. What is uncontaminated? Concentrated mind. Why? Whatever work I am doing it. No other thought contaminates it. You may not agree. Anyway, it's very deep thought. Forget about it. So no other thought should contaminate. Because certain things, if I share, it becomes danger. If you misunderstand, it will explode. So therefore I did not say. So that is that God. If you do it, then vicharakastukta. Dhyayato devata mantram anyadva lakshamuttamam dhyeyam atmamaha jyotihishi antato linatam vrajet. This is Devata, Ishwaramurti, Indradhyaha, Mantram, Shiva, Vishnu, Adityadi, Devata, Prasada Sampadakam, Mantra Vishesham. Devata, Dhyayataha, Anyadva, Uttamam Lakshyam. You take up any mantram, Vishnu Japam, Shiva Dhyanam, Indra Dhyanam, Ishvara Darshan, Ishvara Dhyanam, you do whatever it is. Anyadva Uttamam, or some other you keep other goal, a higher goal, a higher Devata. Bhautikam, Manasikam va, physical goal or Manasikam goal. Murti Vishesham, Nada Vishesham. Some people focus on Murti, some people focus only on Dhvani, Om, 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 or music, Nada Vishesham, Jyoti Vishesham Va. Some people meditate on effulgence of light, Lakshatvena Gruhitva. They keep that goal. Somebody light, somebody music, somebody form, Lakshatvena Gruhitva, Dhyayatah Ekagrataya Tatra Manasam Nidhadataha. There the mind is completely placing in them, in that particular Dheya Vastu, either Murti or Shabda or form, Shabda or light or form, completely keeping that mind there. Purushasya Dhyayam Dhyana Vishaya Bhutam Laksham Antataha Ante, in the end. After long practice, Atma Mahajyotishi Linatam Rajet. That a mind completely dissolves. Where anything can dissolve into its own source. From where the mind is born? From Ahamvritti. Mind is Ahamvritti only. Source is Ahamvritti. So mind is extremely pure. So that Ahamvritti becomes Aham is padding removed. But literally pure Abha. That also merges in its own self automatically. Atma Rupe Mahati Jyotishi Liyate. That brilliance of Atma Jyoti, that Jyoti effulgence, in that this little ego just merges. Sarvasyapi dhyanasya jhatrudhyayabhyam saha atmaswarupe paryavasanaviti bhavaha. Meaning, dhyanasya, the one who, the meditation kya hai? Jhatrudhyayabhyam saha. So when the meditation, when you do, dhyatru, meditator, and the object of meditation, along with the object of meditation, Triputi, Dhyata, Dhyanam and Dhyayam, all that dissolves in Atmaswarupe Paryavasanam. So, but it is a long route. So you have to purify, you achieve that high degree of concentration. You can achieve concentration while doing Vyavahar. How? I said there is no motive attached to any work. No motive attached. It has to be done, it has to be done. No motive. Very tough. Therefore, Paryavasanam, ending, it all ends in self. Ataha upasamharati. Now it is concluding. Gatirevam dvayorekaha dhyatuschatma vimarshinaha dhyayen eka prashantasyat anyo vijnaya shamyati. So, gatihi evam dvayoho dhyatuhu gatihi evam dvayoho eka gatihi dvayoho. Whether you do meditation or whether you do atma vichara, gati, destination is same. बट पूरा घूम फिर के लॉन्ग रूट जाके शुद्धि करके 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 he doesn't know how to drop. Doesn't know how to drop. Takes time. घूम के जातुश्च आत्मविमर्शनः, and then आत्मविमर्शनः, आत्मविचार करने वाला, he also knows the secret. But question is, ध्यायन एक प्रशांतः स्यात्. Meditator first attains peace. Shamyati. Prashantas. He becomes very peaceful because mind is very only one thought. Meditating. No other thought is there. Naturally, there is no effort. There is no effort. There is no fighting with the mind. There is no other thought comes and disturbs this mind. Naturally settled. Naturally undisturbed. Sahajavastha. That's very peaceful. Such a meditator is always peaceful. Peace. Undisturbed peace. Even though the person is talking, walking, etc. Yesterday we saw, no, the involvement in the worldly activities does not obstruct the Atma Vichara. Na pratikulani bhavanti. Bhavati. That we saw. So, Anya Vijnaya Shamyati. Other man, he knows what is self, and ultimately the ego is completely dissolved, and attains peace, attains self-realization. So this is the Saptamodhyaya about the alternative methods. What are the methods to be used? How other, but direct path is only self-enquiry. That's it. But I am not fit enough, mind is disturbed. Then follow Bhagavad Gita Marga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, खूब सेवा करो, गुरु को समर्पण करो, धीरे 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 एकाग्रता बढ़ेगी. एकाग्र चित्त बनने के बाद फिर ध्यान में एक स्थिति हम प्राप्त कर लेते हैं. फिर ध्यान के द्वारा मन को शांति मिलती है. देन तब किसी भी जस्ट जाके पूछोगे हु एम आई, इंक्वायरी बिकम्स लाइक अ रॉकेट स्पीड. वन विल डिस्कवर दैट वन इज नभो समहा. द स्वरूप ऑफ जीवा इज in essence is like space, boundaryless, pure, vast consciousness. There I identify as consciousness. The body, mind, intellect, memories, samskaras, tension, stress, all that is unwanted, what do you call, रस्टेड पर्सनैलिटीज. जंक लग गया, ऐसा चिपक गया. वी हैव टू स्क्रेप इट. धूमेनाव्रियते वह्निः यथादर्शो मलेन च यथोल्बेनावृतो गर्भः तदा तेन इदम् आवृतम्. लाइक इन तमोगुण गर्भ. So you have to wait in time for the baby to come out. I like smoke covering the fire. Just one फूक दे दो, just poof, pew it with the air, it just blow it, the fire comes out. On the dust mirror, dust is gathered, you have to take the cloth and slightly rub it. But the baby covered in the womb, by the womb of the mother in the womb, when will it be released? You have to wait in time. So Tamoguna should wait. Rajoguna should put efforts. Sattvaguna, if you wait, just one thought, who am I? Realized. That was the state of Ramana Maharshi. Who am I? I am not the body. I cannot be. Let me see. What is death? Withdrawn. Hey? I am still existing. Then he opened. Why? This is me. Let me be there only. Went away and stayed there. That is the truth. Okay? You have seen Tom and Jerry. Oh, no, for example, I don't know, Tom or Jerry, whatever it is. He hugs, he holds tightly, suppose a pillar. Somebody will try to push him and he will not leave. But that hand will at the it elongates, you know. वो वहाँ दूर तक तकता के वो छोड़ देगा पटक करके. ऐसा हमारा साधना है. तो ना सुबह शाम में बैठ के we try to pull away from the pillar which we are holding tightly. जहाँ तक खींच सकते हैं. इलास्टिक लिमिट हो जाता है उसका. अरे बाबा मुझसे नहीं होता, छोड़ दे, पचक करके फिर दुनिया में आ जाता है, छपक जाता है. So that is our साधना. क्योंकि दुनिया को छोड़े बिना हमको परमात्मा चाहिए. मिलेगा नहीं. शरीर रहना है, मन रहना है, बुद्धि को रखना है, इसको रखना है, परिवार रखना है. I need a comfortable meditation. Means what? AC room. Yeah, meditation. That is our sadhana. So meditation time में we think we are pulling out. नहीं कि meditation जैसे खत्म होते ही चलो दाल बनाए कि नहीं, काफी बनाए कि नहीं, व्यवहार कर सकते हैं, बट देन so much involved, forget all that. And the gussa, irritations. Gurudev used to joke, one man used to meditate every day and he will scream at people, family, wife and children, don't talk, I am meditating in the room. So everybody will stop talking. Father meditating, Rakshas inside. Because he will come out with a great force of anger and disturb करे तो सब लोग मुंह में मम्मी दूध. Gurudev used to say all that. Then the little fellow, about 5-6-year-old fellow, पापा बहुत देर हो गया, करता क्या अंदर करके? The keyhole he was seeing inside. पापा दिखाई नहीं दिया, क्योंकि वो सो रहा था पलंग पर. He was sleeping on the bed somewhere. So he knew when I sleep, he should not be visible. So straight he is not sitting. He said, मम्मी पापा दिखाई नहीं दिया. तो कैसे देखा? अंदर से देखा. पता नहीं. आने के बाद पूछा, पापा आप कहाँ थे? Meditating. But I saw through keyhole. You are not visible. Asana is there. But you are not an asana. I was levitating. I touched the ceiling. Did you see ceiling? Oh, दिखता नहीं ना? हाँ, I was there. Oh. And slowly I came down. इतना हंसाते थे. And Gurudev says, after that meditation, we don't know what is coming out. Either anger or frustration or irritation. That, that some kind of heat comes out of the meditation room. Departed from meditation room and arriving into the house, we don't know what it is coming out. So everybody is scared. For next half an hour, very scared. Till he becomes normal. Otherwise, चलो ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि ओम सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय.